I don't know. After a while with these announcers, these guys, a lot of times I just end up tuning them out. So unless they really, really stand out and do something. So I think Moro, I just kind of accept it. It is a little, at least it's different than, the overproduced WWE announcer style that we get on the main roster all the time, because all the guys pretty much sound the same. And you can tell when they're directed to act or say things a certain way, and they really go over the top with it. So it just has that feel to it. So at least the NXT, it feels a little bit more natural, whether it's everyone's cup of tea or not, I don't know. But
No, I agree with you on that. I think it definitely is better than the main show. I didn't know this, but did you know Percy is still on the commentary team?
yeah, I think because he only speaks like 5 times a show. But
I had no idea. Yeah, he pops in and out. Pops in 2 or 3 times a match. And speaking of stereotypical, could Crime Time version 2.0 get any more like that? It's a little bit over the top with the Street Profits.
you're not a Street Profits guy?
I am a Street Profits guy, but that promo was like, it had Gaspar in a different attire. I mean, I think these guys are definitely better workers in the ring, but.
Did you and the Natural have a child since our last show? Is that?
No, but I have a 45-pound black lab douche with a squeaky toy who will not leave me alone as I'm trying to do the show. So I'm actually going to take it. I'm taking this show on the road, so I apologize for the little guy. But continue, we're good.
That's fine. Well, I don't know. Are you ready to jump over into the Dave Meltzer Wrestle Kingdom ratings?
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, so why don't we do it this way? We started off the show with you asking me some questions from 1992 WCW. So I have the star ratings for 8 matches, starting with the Young Bucks versus Roppongi 3K opener, all the way through to Okada versus Naito.
Okay.
So why don't you do you want to take a guess as to what Meltzer rated it, and then I will tell you what the rating is and see how close we can get?
Absolutely. I think this is going to be a great game because I know how much of a mark Meltzer is.
All right. So the first match, of course, was the Young Bucks versus Roppongi 3K for the junior heavyweight tag titles. What do you think Meltzer gave that one?
Okay, so now disclaimer, these are not my star rankings. This is me guessing what Meltzer gave them.
Correct.
Roppongi 3K Young Bucks, 4 stars.
That's exactly correct. He gave it 4 stars even.
Okay, sweet.
Next match is we have Cody Rhodes versus Ibushi.
4 stars.
4.25. He gave Cody versus Ibushi.
Okay, are we giving our commentary on each, like his opinions on each match, or do you want to wait till the end?
However you want, man. If you got feelings, if you got thoughts in the moment, throw them out here. I've seen these before, so I've already had my reactions to them. So if you have some comments, feel free to make them.
Yeah, the Young Bucks match was a hot opener, but 4 stars it wasn't. And I have no issue with Ibushi and Cody getting 4.25. I think that was his best match yet.
Okay. So then we have the tag title match, the heavyweight tag title match.
I really don't know. I really like this match. I don't know what he would do. I'm going to say 3.75.
He gave it 4 even.
Okay. No issues there.
Then we've got Goto versus Suzuki.
He's a huge mark for these guys. I'm going to say 4.5.
That's right. On the nose. 4.5 stars.
Yes.
4.5 stars. All right. Now we have the 4-way for the junior heavyweight championship.
I was a big fan of this match. Meltzer's a huge mark. 4.5.
He went 4.75 on the 4-way.
That is ambitious. Okay, that's a little bit of an overrating for me, but yeah, I could see that. Okay.
All right. So now we're down to the final 3. So we got Tanahashi versus Switchblade Jay White.
Personally, after we talked about this, I thought it was a good to very good match. Nothing awe-inspiring. Knowing Meltzer, he's going to go 4 stars.
3.75.
All right, that's actually probably his most fair rating yet. So,
okay. Then we've got the Alpha versus Omega, so Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega.
It's Omega. It's got to be 24.5. No, I'm gonna say 5 stars.
5 stars even, correct?
Yes.
And then he has Okada versus Naito, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match.
5 stars.
He went 4.5 on that one. So
really,
yeah. So he liked the. If you're comparing it then to the rest of the show, it's got the same rating as Goto versus Suzuki, and it got a lower rating than Jericho Omega and the junior heavyweight title Fatal 4-Way. So that's where he had.
What do you think was a better match? Do you think Okada versus Naito, or do you think Omega versus Jericho was better?
I liked the Jericho Omega match better myself.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not, there's no wrong answer to that. If somebody said they liked Okada versus Naito better, I wouldn't argue it. I think that's just a preference,
There were parts during the Omega match that felt a little bit long and a little bit drawn out. And I personally like the Okada match better. I am shocked that he only gave the main event 4.5 stars. He went 5 stars for Omega versus Jericho, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
4 stars for the Bucks versus Roppongi 3K is overzealous, at best. That's a little much for me. I mean, we both did like that match a lot. Would you have went 4 stars?
Probably not. I probably would have went like 3.5 or 3 3/4 personally on that. I don't know that I would have given it 4, but I really did. I really liked it. I did like it a lot, what they did with it, but I probably would not have gone up to 4.
Maybe I got to rewatch it because I thought it was like a 3.5.
Yeah, I mean that's around 3.5, 3 3/4 is probably what I would have given it. I mean, my favorite matches on the card. I mean, I not in terms of how I would rate it, but just I don't know. But I mean, my favorite match is like the Jericho Omega match was really good, and I liked the Goto versus Suzuki match a lot. And then I would say I like the Fatal 4-Way, Okada Naito, and then Cody versus Ibushi, and then the Young Bucks, and then Tanahashi, like something like that. I guess
you missed the tag match, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the tag match. I don't know. Did you get to watch the Goto Suzuki match yet?
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna watch.
Come on, bro. Come on, dude.
I'm a piece of shit.
You got to get in there, man. You got to get into the Suzuki. You got to get on that.
Are you like all in on Suzuki Goon now?
The Suzuki, this match, I liked it a lot. I liked the way that the story was told. I liked the stipulation. I liked the way that they the announcers called it, especially Don Callis.
I like the way.
But I don't want to give too much away. I want you to watch it. I want your reactions to be unique, natural. So I don't want to sway you one way or the other. I really just wish that you would watch it and enjoy it because I feel like it's going to be good.
All right. Well, I like the way Don Callis calls anything because I thought he was incredibly enjoyable the entire 12-hour show. That's first and foremost. Especially when Yujiro Takahashi comes out. I think every time I pop, he says something different. What did he say about One Night in Roppongi? He said something about the Don Callis experience. What did he say about take a ride in Don Callis train? He said something that popped me.
It's on air. I think it was on Air Callis or something like that.
That's what it was. Yeah, he is tremendous. It's just him and Kevin Kelly is just like him and Joey Styles to me. It was a tremendous commentary team. I will watch Suzuki versus Goto this weekend. That's my promise.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna ask you next week and see what I want to get your reactions to it. So I'm gonna hold you to it.
All right, we will do that. I mean, we have a lot of stuff coming up too. Winding down here on the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We have a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to have our Royal Rumble prediction show. We're going to have our NXT prediction show. And we are going to have a special guest to the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. I'm talking about a gentleman by the name of your hero, Mike Magnum. Mike Magnum is a former WWE NXT talent. He spent time in both organizations. He worked a little bit down in Florida with Impact Wrestling. He's a Northeast guy. He's got a wealth of experience under his belt, and he is starting a wrestling organization up here on Long Island called Full Faith Wrestling. He's got a wealth of talent. He's trained with everybody in the business, who's who. And not only that, Mike has some of the best stories I have ever heard from anybody in the business. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. Joe, I want you to imagine you're at a tryout match. I'm not going to give away any of the stories, but you're at a tryout match for WWE. It's a dark match where the crowd's there. It's a match before that where really just the agents and everybody are there watching the match, and you hit a double A spine buster and look up and you don't even realize Arn Anderson is standing at ringside. The pressure is on in that situation.
Yeah, especially when you have a guy like him or those guys just watching you, and there's really no fans or crowd reaction to help gauge how well you're doing. It's really just those guys' impressions of you and probably nitpicking and watching very closely every move that you make and your facial expressions and all that type of stuff. So it's I'm sure that's a very nerve-wracking experience.
I mean, I've had some nerve-wracking experiences in my life. I don't know, wrestling in front of guys like Ric Flair, Triple H, Arn Anderson, and hitting Arn Anderson's signature move in front of, you got to have a set of cojones on you for that, my friend. But Mike's going to be coming up in the weeks, and I want you guys to check him out on, he's on Instagram at Full Faith Wrestling 1, on Twitter and on Facebook in the same name. So be on the lookout for that organization. He's doing a lot of cool stuff in the Northeast, a lot of positive, putting wrestling in a more positive light. And it's going to be, I think, I'm not going to give away any names that are tentatively scheduled to be on the show, but I'm just going to say he's going to come out of the gate firing. So that's something I think we're really looking forward to in the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. And we're looking forward to being a part of that with him. So it's for all of us.
Absolutely. So I guess we should let everybody know where they can find us on
I live
the interwebs.
over at 5 Hawth. Oh, no, you don't. Okay.
Whoa. Nope.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So you can find us in a couple places right now. I'm going to pull up, I'm going to repost this because we have a lot of, you can find us in a lot of spots. I mean, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/allnightlongwp. We're on Twitter and on Instagram at allnightlongwp. We are on Spreaker at spreaker.com/show/ANLWP. You can email us at allnightlongwp@yahoo.com. Pretty much if it's All Night Long WP anywhere, you can find us. Damage 365 Radio Network. We'd like to thank them for having us on the show again. Who have I missed, man? My run sheet is it's like 15 lines long here.
I think you got it all, man. I mean, the Damage 365 Radio Network, big fan of those guys for allowing us to have our show on there. They got us hooked up with iHeartRadio as well. We are back on iTunes, as you mentioned, so we got that all squared away. So you can find us on the iTunes podcast app, and like you said, you got the All Night Long WP, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Just subscribe anywhere and everywhere, and you'll get us one way or the other.
I'm not asking for a lot out of you guys. I'm really not. All I would love if you do is subscribe to the show, subscribe to it, comment, like us. The more you do that, the more people we could reach, and we appreciate it. We appreciate the hard work you guys put in listening to us. It can't be easy because I suck.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
It's tough, but no, we appreciate all the support. We'll be back next week. We might have Mike on next week. It might be the week after. I can't promise anything. It'll be coming up soon, and we'll have tons of stories for you guys. And he's got some stories that might create some waves. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give anything away, but definitely stay tuned. That's going to be a show that you don't want to miss. So for these two guys, for the Stallion, for the Enforcer, it's another episode of the All Night Long Wrestling podcast, and we're tapping out.